You ready for What the Heck Sports? With your host, Stephen Heck.
Introducing my team, straight from the cracks in the cement, and can carry twice his weight on his back, my guy, NT.
If it's got a scoreboard, you know we talking about it. What the heck? This is all on stand together.
And this is my other team member. What's your name today, Eddie?
Breaking it all down.
Welcome to What the Heck Sports, where we break it all down. Man, listen, y'all really thought that trade made sense.
Ship the bank. What the heck?
Good morning, everybody on this fine Sunday. This is the What the Heck Sports Show. We in the building as we gonna come to you 10 o'clock every Sunday. Talking that shit is what we do. Bringing you the most of whatever happens in sports, whatever we could come up with, whatever we figure out. You know, most of us got real lives, you know what I mean? So this is just basically our normal everyday work talk, you know, water cooler, barbershop, bar. That's how we basically try to keep it around here. You know what I mean? Because I can't be everywhere. And I don't want to be everywhere, but I do love sports. You know what I mean? As watered down as it might be. And speaking of watered down, what's come to my attention is the game between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz on Friday, April 10th. Now, we all have a problem with tanking, and the NBA has a tanking problem, as they have expressed, and they're giving penalties and punishments to the people that's tanking. I've got some stats here. Like, obviously, I'm not going to remember them off the top of my head because nobody really cared to really watch the Memphis. Listen, I just want to show y'all right now. There were 4 people who had triple doubles. And I think one had a quadruple double because he had 10 turnovers or something like that. Let me make sure that stat is correct. Yes. Jay Mashak or Mashak, however you want to say it, had 13, 15, 14, and 10. And he had 10 turnovers. So he had a quadruple double in turnovers. Another person had, let me just go through the list of triple doubles here. Let's go through the list of triple doubles. Utah Jazz had somebody named M Bang, 27, 11, and 11. Jay Concher, whoever these people are, G League people, I don't know who the hell they are. 11, 11, and 10. So you're talking about the problem that we have with the tanking is insane. Like I said, then we go to the Memphis Grizzlies, and we got the guy I told you who had a quadruple double. So that's 3 people. We have 2 other double doubles on Memphis at 13 and 13, 16 and 12. And we have another double double at 16 and 22 rebounds. And another one at 26 and 10 in assists. And another one 23 and 10, which was Ace Bailey. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, B. Henson had 30. I mean, so we got two people trying to tank. And then we come up with all these stats because trash is just out there playing against each other. And I'm gonna say trash because I'm not out there, but I mean trash in the sense of like in the NBA stage, nobody knows who those people are except for Ace Bailey. Nobody knows who those people are, my guy. Like we just don't. Man, not Bo Jackson has made it to the stage. I don't know if he ever played football, and he might have thought he was Bo Jackson, but today he's not Bo Jackson. So I'm guessing he didn't rush for 1,000 yards in the season and/or jump off a wall playing baseball at the same time. Maybe he jumped off a wall playing baseball, but I guarantee you it was probably when he was about 11. But anyway, what do you think about the tanking in the NBA and what has become? And the simple fact, we had 3 to 4 triple doubles and about 7 double doubles and somebody with 30s and all of this nonsense on a day where two people were both trying to lose. Can you hear me? Hold on.
What do you do, Mr. Stephen Heck?
Good morning. How's everything?
Shout out to Ant and Mr. Savage in the background as always. Man, I tried to do a 40-yard dash yesterday at the track field, man, and I pulled a hamstring, bro. Got to stick with my calisthenics and my pull-ups and push-ups, man. Not Bo Jackson today, bro. Not Bo Jackson.
That's the only way to go nowadays.
Bro, what's going on with the NBA, man? Like, it's getting worse by the week. It's getting worse by the week.
And this is the last.
Last week when we had the great Nightmare, we touched on that topic, how the percentages of three-pointer attempts in the NBA have exponentially gone up in the past 15 years. And here on my notes, I have that 2 teams this week made 29 three-pointers in a game. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Boston Celtics, and one of them lost the game. So basically, we touch a topic every Sunday, and it seems that the week following after, they give us more and more reason. I mean, we're not talking about 29 three-pointers attempted. We're talking about 29 3 points made, and they lost the game. We're talking almost 90 points. So the crisis, if we can call that, in the NBA, it keeps going, in my opinion. Like you see these games getting out of hand. The scoring this week was extremely high on the majority of games. The 140, 125 games keep popping up.
Again.
I mean, that you had a couple of decent games, like that Knicks Celtics game was okay. The Knicks Raptors game was okay, was competitive throughout. But other than that, man, we touch on a topic like you bring a topic every Sunday. We touch on it. And it seems that the week after, they give us the reason that we are in the right, because you bring a topic. Myself and I discuss it last week. You brought the prospect, the young prospect, the guest Nightmare. We talk about many topics about the NBA, and everything that we touched on. I'm watching the games this week, and everything happened. So what are we? Are we like clairvoyance or something? But the NBA, man, that Memphis Grizzlies game's 29 three-pointers made and losing the game at the same time, it just shows you that nobody's playing defense, nobody's playing competitive, lanes are open, nobody's pressuring, nobody's playing man-to-man, and it's just an all-star game every night. That's what we are witnessing in the NBA right now.
I mean, but let's not get it twisted. On that Friday night, we also had a game with the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns that went 1-on-1 at 73. The Phoenix Suns scoring 73 that night. So maybe that was an anomaly. Like somebody scored 73 points for the first time in I don't know how long. When is the last time that happened in the NBA? That needs to be something to be looked up at this point. But what do you think about that tanking situation and how it's going and what it actually did to a game like the Memphis Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz?
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. I mean, but that's why I'll be honest with you. everything that you guys are talking about, every stat that you guys are mentioning, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know because I didn't watch a lick of basketball this week. I know that this is the final couple of games before the playoffs, and this is what's gonna happen. These teams, the ones that are not fighting for any kind of, these teams are not even trying to make it to the play-in to try to compete. I don't want to see that crap. I don't want to see that crap. I don't want to see that product. But only thing I say is it's bad, but it shouldn't look that obvious. It shouldn't look that obvious, man. You got some of these teams where they got a player that's cooking, and then when it look like they're gonna win, they take them out. They're like, no. We need to sit you down for the whole second half. Let's play you 2 minutes in the third quarter and then get you out the game. It shouldn't look that obvious. So Adam Silver really needs to get a handle on a way to fix this tanking thing. Like, I'm starting to get to the point where maybe the last place team shouldn't be allowed as many ping pong balls for being in last place. Like, I don't think these teams should be rewarded for being trash. I just don't, especially with some of them some of these teams got good rosters too. And they just choose to lose. But once again, like Eddie said, this is the conversation we had with Namel last week, where this NBA could never be our NBA. Our NBA competed to the very last game, because even if they were in the last place, if they played against a team that was in the playoff, they tried to hurt that team's playoff chances, affect that team's playoff chances, or try to, if they was fighting for a 5 seed, they make sure that they play hard so they could lose, and then now they got to get a 6 seed. So it was a different type of a game, and it doesn't make sense.
Completely agree, man. You might, what do you do, once again? You make such a great point, bro, when you say that it is so obvious now. Like, they're not even like keeping up the appearances. Everything seems so out of hand right now. And and when you look at the which, by the way, I am not a fan of the playing tournament. I think that, like other sports, out of all the professional sports in North America, the one that has the most qualified teams is basketball. When you look at the NFL, that they just added that 7th team a couple of years ago, it was warranted. Baseball as well, with the wild card. There was a time in baseball, like in the 80s up until the mid 90s, where only 4 teams will get into the playoffs. So basically, when they started adding the wild card game and all of that, it was to not only to bring more revenue to the sport, but also like to level out the competition and the participation in the playoffs, because the playoff participation percentage was so low that they decided to make that change. But now the NBA, it seems that all the way up to the 11th seed, one of these days at this rate, all the teams in the whole conference gonna get into the playoffs, which kind of like dilutes the purpose of playing competitive all year long to try to get one of those 8 spots. And also, it has erased that mystique that of back in the day, when you will be waiting to see that 8th seed against the number 1, just like you saw that time when the Denver Nuggets with Mutombo and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf beat the invincible Seattle Supersonics, the 8th beat a number 1. So now with the playing, like that kind of like aura around it, you're not looking forward to that anymore, because you have to wait to, similar to what we talked before, Ant, on the show about the playing tournament in the NCAA. The NCAA tournament starts on Thursday. It doesn't start like on that Tuesday night with Macaroni State and Biff and Brisket's Agricultural and Mechanical College and Tuscaloosa Community College. It starts on Thursday at 12 noon. So adding more teams doesn't make the product more appealing, doesn't make the competition more appealing. Like the NBA, 1 through 8, if you don't make it, you have 82 games to be one of the top 8 seeds. You know what I'm saying? You have 82 games to be from 1 to 8. And if you didn't make it, why give participation trophy? Why reward mediocrity at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing I have with awarding mediocrity. And I don't want to say everything is like mediocre, right? But at the
you
same
talking
time,
about like putting Doc Rivers in the Hall of Fame?
That could be one of them, right? But another thing I probably have a problem with, and I know we brought it up multiple times, and I'm gonna put this on multiple platforms of sports. Number one, as I was watching boxing yesterday, great day of boxing yesterday on Netflix. The British have done it again. The Turkey Alkesh and Eddie Hearn have definitely put on another show. Great day of boxing. Starts early, gets over early, so we can enjoy our day. I like that part. That's number one.
That's beautiful.
Number two, I'm gonna go on this side, and I'm tired, and I mean absolutely tired of ring walks for losers. I think they should have the ring walks after, right? So you have your celebration after. You can have your concert. You could do whatever you want to do after the fact, not before, because now we got 2 people having ring walks and one person coming in just totally gets his ass whooped. Like, what did you don't need a ring walk, my guy. Like, you don't need all that stuff on. Regis Prograis, he did the Rougarou and all of that stuff. And then, Mr. Conor Benn came out with his shit. And then it was too much for a one-sided fight, in my opinion. Also, MVPs, as we touched on before, should not be given out until the championship is over. I don't care about regular season MVP. You can be trash and have the best stats. Don't mean you deserve the MVP. Right? The best player on the winning team, because 9 times out of 10, think about it: Jokic, Giannis, Jordan, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, right? Most of the players, the only kind of player who kind of defied that was Andre Iguodala that one season, right? But it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jaylen Brown. Like, let's go down the line of people who've been the best on their team and won championships. Those are the people who deserve the NBA. And they've been consistent throughout the season with their stats. There should be, take away regular MVP season stats. Take away that shit. I don't want to see it no more. I don't want to see people that can't get to the playoffs be in MVP conversations. I'm tired of the trash stats. I'm tired of all of it, because it means absolutely nothing but a little bump in your paycheck. And I guess that's where the individualism comes in, and people just playing for themselves instead of the actual team that drafted them, that gave them the millions. And it's just become very watered down, in my opinion. But I'm gonna let y'all go do what y'all go for that.
Great points, Hick.
Yeah, man, the NBA has been doing that so long. I just think the MVP. This is what I think about MVP. Really, I think they can still do regular season MVP. I think they just got to tighten up the criteria. You can't. I don't want to see the worst MVP I've seen in the last couple of years is when Russell Westbrook won it. He was a number 6 seed, but because he averaged a triple-double, he's an MVP. Now, I can appreciate the stats part of it, right? But you can't be rewarded MVP at a number 6 seed. You just can't. Right? I think that record should fall for MVP, should fall for a player whose team is at least in the top 3, who has made who has made his team competitive and put his team in a space to be able to compete for a championship. So that's the difference. Because I guess there's a difference in how you play in a regular season, really, and then when you get to the playoffs, that's a different level. It's a different level. Your game it's supposed to go to a different level. So I think 1 year didn't 1 year, like a couple of years ago, they did like a playoff MVP type thing where they gave it like in the West, it was a Magic Johnson trophy, and in the East, it was a Larry Bird trophy. Didn't they do that a couple of years back? Something like that. I don't like that. The finals MVP, regular season MVP is good. I think they just got to tighten up that criteria a bit.
Yes, great point by both of you. Starting with Heck, completely agree with both. Now, before I touch on the MVP thing, and before I forget, because this still like has me like I'm out of words this week with the NBA. So the highest scoring team in the history of the NBA in a season was the 1982 Denver Nuggets. So they average 126 points per game, but with the same fact that they allowed more than 105 on every game as well. So the five highest scoring teams in a regular season were the 82 Nuggets, 126, and then you have the 62 Warriors and 67 76ers. But those were the teams that had Will Chamberlain in it, like averaging like 80 points by himself. So those have like an asterisk in them. And then in the modern era, you have the 1984 Denver Nuggets. So basically, out of those four teams, only three of those teams made the playoffs, and all of them got out on the first round. So as of right now, teams in the NBA are averaging 114 points per game. So if I ask you, what was the season with the highest TV ratings in the history of the NBA? Just take a guess, a wild guess. Just take a wild guess.
What was that question? Say it again.
The season with the highest ratings in the NBA.
With the highest TV ratings. Which year was the season with the highest TV ratings in the history of the NBA?
I think it was 1992.
It was actually 1998.
I was about to say the Chicago Bulls.
That year, their last championship. And the highest scoring team that year was the Chicago Bulls, and they averaged 95 points a game. The lowest was the Dallas Mavericks, and they averaged 89 points a game. So what does that tell you?
No, I
tell you that they had a real superstar in the league, right?
No, I got
at
one
the end of the day. But
so there's one contrast, just one contrast.
Go ahead.
With that was that it was already known from the very beginning that was going to be the Bulls' last season as we saw it. So a lot more people tuned in to see how that was going to finish out.
That's a great point. But at the same time, that season alone is a reflection of the whole decade, in the sense that, when you look at teams, it's like, bro, you guys evidently are older than myself. So basically, I look up to you and respect you and admire you, etc. And I learn from you. Bro, we were used to watching. When you were watching basketball, when you were watching, bro, Phil, let me tell you, hold up. Y'all grandfathers. Let me tell you this. Listen.
I ain't nobody's grandfather.
Listen. Hold on. Follow me to America. Listen. So, it's too early for this shit. Yo. So let me tell you this. Yes, that's a great point. That's a great point. And when you say people were like, it's like when Usain Bolt's last race. Everybody's like, oh my God, I gotta see Usain Bolt because you're never gonna see him race again. Perfect. But at the same time, that season was a reflection of the whole decade. It's not that we don't like scoring. Of course we love scoring, bro. I mean, we all play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You play the game to score points, to beat your opponent. But at the same time, and it's what we were trying to explain to Naimir and myself last week. you want to score a lot of points, but you want to score them in a competitive manner. You want a challenge. So that season is like a microcosm. That season like represents what the NBA was in the days, back in the days. That points were scored, but you had to earn those points. You see, and now we're talking about that the average in the league right now is 18 points more than the Chicago Bulls average in 1998. So you're gonna tell me that you enjoy this basketball more, they scoring 18 more points per game, or you want to go back to that 1998 season with the Bulls and Mavericks and all those teams averaging 90, 92, 94, 96.
Right. And this is exactly why the college tournament and the NFL playoffs, number one, take precedent over everything, right? And men, like, let's not forget what the biggest sport in the world is actually soccer, right? And most of them games end, some of them games end in 0-0, right? Or 1-0.
1-0.
Tottenham Hotspur
because
Sunday,
of the
in halftime, I
anticipation.
left that alone. I'm like, I ain't watching this, man. I got stuff to do. It was 0-0 at halftime, and I'm like, in soccer, that's a great point, Hank. Like soccer, sometimes you watch a whole game and they don't score.
It's the anticipation, you being on your seat. Like hockey, but hockey's going up, and which has been great for the sport. With the scoring actually going up. It's actually been better for the sport. But like, so like you watching, and it's the anticipation. Like when I've watched soccer a few times, I don't watch it often, I do not, but I've watched it a few times, and it's the anticipation of them coming down, and they got a fast break, and next thing you know, they kick it, and then they kick it way over here, and you're like, oh, they almost did it, right? Like they almost did it, and you're like, okay, well, can they do it again? Can they get down there again? Because it's so hard to actually get past the defense and all of that stuff to actually get into those situations. So the people that are admired, like the Messis and the Ronaldos of the world, they're actually really, really freaking good to be able to score so many goals and do what they're doing in that sport. But we'd all like it to be a little bit more competitive, and it's just not what it's supposed to be for us, right? Because we've grown up and seen all of this stuff. And it's just tough. It's really tough to watch what I just told you, the tanking. And then you got 3 triple doubles and 6 double doubles by people we never heard of that was coming from the G League on 10-day contracts, and people that's been as the 15th player on the bench.
Right.
Like that's really tough to watch and sell to people of our age plus. You know what I'm saying? And if you're saying that this is better for you, you're just one of those people who never grew up and never really had a mind anyway. So I'm just going to call you stupid.
Yeah, you enjoy the fast-paced lifestyle, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, but how long can you watch that? You didn't hear us say anything about, and it's a competitive, it's a sport, right? But how often have you watched figure skating? Right? Do you just watch somebody? You want to just watch somebody just skate around, even though they make moves. You want to see them just skate around.
I used to watch figure skating all the time.
That's another conversation we need to have.
That's my grandmother. That's my grandmother used to love figure skating.
That's
she used to love the skating. So I said that's why I
had somebody
I used to watch it.
But no, I'm just saying, right? Like nobody's gonna sit there. Nobody's watching scoring. Like this nigga's stupid, bro. He's right though. He's right though. Yo, damn. God bless her. God bless her.
Like, rest in peace, my grandmother, man. Like at the end of the day, Serena Bonali watched a black girl do the black flip for the first time. Like I'm telling you, I could Brian I forgot his freaking name, something, but I used to watch it because of my grandmother, dog.
No,
like it just
is
saying, what it
right?
is.
But look, you watched it because of your grandmother. You ain't just watching it. You know what I'm saying? So, and not to disrespect them because it is a sport, right? But we don't want to just see somebody just running up and down, right? We don't want to see that. Like compete. I don't want to see. I was telling actually my girl's daughter the other day because she's a Knicks fan, and we were just watching the game, and I'm like, yo, I can't watch this no more. There was fast breaks and I'm pointing out to her where the plays broke up. I'm like, this player was not supposed to run. Like OG Anunoby he's on a break. He's on a wing. I'm like, he ran straight to the angle 3, and it's like, yo, why did you do that? Now your player's penetrating all the way to the basket, but they had to now turn around and contort his body to make a pass instead of running a fast break the way it's supposed to be ran. Run it wide, run it to the basket, get 2 points. But everybody's coming down looking for threes, right? If it was a competitive style of basketball that we were watching, if they were scoring 114 points and it was a competitive style of basketball, which we did have, because I want to, like, in the years like early 2000s when it was the Lakers and the Spurs,
Trailblazers,
and the Trailblazers.
There's a documentary coming on Tuesday too. The Jail Blazers is called. Highly recommend.
Because how many Ryan Grant didn't Ryan Grant have some issues?
Brian Grant,
Damon
Stoudemire, Rasheed Wallace, everybody.
Rasheed Wallace,
Bonzi.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, it was competitive. So if a team, remember, they used to give out some of the arenas. If you score over 100, they give you tacos. Right?
Yo, imagine walking out the arena with a taco after somebody scored 100. Like, you talk about 20,000 people just getting tacos, so y'all had 20,000 tacos on deck.
20,000 tacos just chilling
to lose as well.
Right?
Like, so who would you giving the tacos to if they didn't score 100?
Nah, they just send it to the shelters, just like the championship shirts. when people, like, for the Super Bowl, they make 2 Super Bowl shirts. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to Africa, you'll be going to like Uganda and Sudan, and you'll be seeing like New York Jets champion in 2011. Bro, we didn't even make it to the Super Bowl, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You'll be having when the Giants beat the Patriots, you have some kid in Africa right now walking around with a Patriots Super Bowl winning champion when the Giants won that year. That's what they do with it, man. You know what I'm saying?
They do. They send it to other people and they run around with false information on their chest. Like,
and they make sure they don't have no internet out there, so they can't.
There's a kid somewhere in Africa with a Rex Grossman Super Bowl MVP shirt right now, bro. When they got beaten by the Colts, man. So they better not get twisted, man. You know,
they only got Wikipedia out there, so they can change it.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
Heck, let me
just please do that. And before we keep going, I also want to mention that next week, sometime soon, there will be a Savage versus Nightish AI versus, and this is for music. They out here doing their thing or whatever. So they're gonna compete a little bit as they did when we had the pandemic, but there's some bangers out there. I've listened to a couple of what Savage has to bring to the table, and it's pretty fire. Like, we're not gonna, but tune in. Make sure you tune in because they got something to bring to the table. It's original AI. Most of it is what you put into it, how it moves. So tune in for that as well. But to keep it moving, whatever y'all have to say or do, please bring something else up before I start bringing up my stuff. I would like to know what y'all have on y'all minds this week is what I really want to know. Moving into the draft. Mind you, I want to say something crazy. Lamar Jackson's going to be a free agent 2027. Free agent walking. Nothing can stop him. Good night. Jalen Hurts. Issues in Philly. What do we think about a swappage? Are those two? Who would you actually take, though? One has a Super Bowl, been to 2. One is the 2 or 3-time MVP. Is he two-time MVP? And Lamar Jackson, and is one of the most dynamic quarterbacks or athletes we've ever seen play this game. And he can't perform under the clutch in the playoffs or any other time because he hasn't even been to a Super Bowl. So who would you actually take at this point in their careers under center if you had to start your franchise right now? And or, they both free agents and you want to put them on your team to win a Super Bowl. Who do you take at this moment? We'll go with Eddie. Oh, sorry, not Bo Jackson.
Heck, this is my take, Heck, on Lamar Jackson. He was a hot topic on most radio shows and online stuff and the banter, sports banter, especially with the upcoming draft. Lamar Jackson is never going to win a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens, and it's time for him to get out. And a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, like you're bringing up, Heck, is the perfect fit for a player in this stage of his career. Everybody's asking Lamar Jackson to be the savior, to be the anchor man of the Ravens, and the Ravens have not put in place the structure for him to get over that hill, over that hump, in order to bring them to the promised land. The last time the Baltimore Ravens drafted an impactful quarterback, Ronald Reagan was still in office, man. This team is a team that has not done the necessary moves. Albeit, look at now, they just got rid of the coach. They have Jesse Minter coming in, a new head coach. Nobody knows. He's a defensive-minded coach. He likes to run the ball a lot. So don't be surprised if you see Lamar Jackson's numbers dip this year, because they will not be as pass-oriented as they've been in the past with Mr. Harbaugh. So at this stage in his career for Lamar, with 2 MVPs under his belt, 3 first-team All-Pro and 4 Pro Bowls, going into the Eagles, he seems like the most logical fit. A team that has a great general manager with Howie Roseman that is always in contention. That, if anything, they have been held back by the play of Jalen Hurts. When they won that Super Bowl, those 2 years, they were great defensive teams, but also they had like outstanding quarterback play. When Nick Foles all of a sudden became the ghost of Joe Montana, like throwing dimes all over the field. So at this stage, when you have people on the radio, which kind of like, I'm not gonna say it bothers me, but it saddens me to hear people kind of like question Lamar's greatness because he hasn't even been able to go to the Super Bowl with the Ravens. At the end of the day, football is a team sport. Josh Allen hasn't been to the Super Bowl. Dan Marino never won one. Dan Fouts never won one. You have numerous great quarterbacks, while you have here Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, Doug Williams, Nick Foles, all these middle of the pack quarterbacks that did go to the Super Bowl and win it because they had the proper structure around them. So at the end of the day, if Lamar goes to the Eagles, it will be a logical move. And we are saying the Eagles because just like you brought the example up, Heck, but that's like the perfect example. That's a textbook example of a team where Lamar could go and he doesn't have to be the savior. He just does his thing and he has the structure around him. Look at the Ravens, their past 10 drafts, the players that they have picked, the structure that they have done, the players that they got rid of. There was a time when Lamar Jackson was throwing the ball to Hollywood Brown and Chancey Stokey. Like, what are we doing here? And the guy still and the guy still won 2 MVPs. So going to the team like the Eagles or a similar team around the league, I mean, I don't see many teams with deficiencies at the quarterback position at the moment where he can go in. Like, he's not going to go to the Arizona Cardinals, evidently. But going to an established team like the Eagles, it will be an automatic win for both the player and the team.
Send him to the 49ers. We'll take him.
There you go. Why you got to ruin it with the 49ers? You're not getting nothing else. You're not getting nothing else over there in 49er land, son. I'm tired of all the shit y'all done had. I'm tired of all the Super Bowls y'all done been to recently.
No.
And fighting for Super Bowl. I'm tired of y'all success, right?
Nah, I'll be honest with you, though, bro. Nah, I wouldn't even want him. And not to say, he'll sell tickets. His accuracy is not going. His accuracy will not work with in the Shanahan scheme. His accuracy just won't work. And we don't need him running the ball when we got McCaffrey.
What do you mean his accuracy? And Lamar Jackson is a guy that has a 65% completion rate in his career. I mean, Do you want Chad Pennington from the Jets with 80% completion? I mean, 65 is respectable. The guy has 102 passer rating in his career. The guy, I mean,
we want to do that.
You know what? You know what I think this comes down to? It's the so what we call, and we've all been around it, it's the clutch gene. Right? So yes, he could have 65% passing regular season, MVP. Mm-hmm. Here we go again, right? Mm-hmm. Going all the way back to the nonsense.
And then
when it comes time to perform, and it does fall on the coach and the quarterback. It doesn't fall on the person who actually dropped it, right? Because they're going to say, oh, well, he didn't do this through the rest of the game. We're not going to blame it on that one play. That's what they all do and say. Not going to blame it on that one play. Let's blame it on the entirety of the game. Did the defense hold up? Did the quarterback do this at this moment to do this moment because we wouldn't have had that moment? Well, we wouldn't have been in that situation if he would have did this prior, right? So that's where I think Lamar Jackson is taking a fall at, because we can't go on regular season once again, because we're not measuring him at regular season at this point, right? We're measuring him on playoff success. So that's where we have to take it from there. I'm gonna let y'all go.
No, I just don't think he'll move. And I'm sorry, because I shouldn't have went away from the original question. We was joking around with it. That's like something that's it wouldn't happen. But in regards to the swap for Philly and the Ravens, I honestly think it's the same thing. You got Saquon Barkley over there. Do you really need? You need Lamar Jackson, who's not going to stand there and be patient in the pocket and make sure that Saquon get the touches that he need. I wouldn't like it. Leave him over there with Harbaugh and let him figure out his own team that was built around him.
With who?
Huh? Well, no, now it's not built around him no more.
Mr. Harbaugh is in that New York Giant.
Jesse Minter.
Not Harbaugh.
Jesse
Minter. Sorry about that. I almost forgot. But yeah, let him go over there and deal with what was built for him. Let him stay right over there. Now, this is going to be a crazy season. What we're going to see for Jalen Hurts. I would like to see how he fixes his situation over there in Philly. Because we still got to see what's going to happen with AJ Brown, who is now untradeable, really.
And all because of one person.
One player got a contract.
Because of Jalen Waddle.
When we had that show with the Max Crosby trade, when Eric DaCosta watched our show and he backtracked on that trade, I made the very controversial statement that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are overrated. You might remember that show. To our audience, they can go back to the Golden Sports Lounge. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button, and you can watch that show. Lamar Jackson has an 84% career passer rating in the playoffs. The guy has 1,800 passing yards. He only has 10 touchdowns while having 7 interceptions and 4 fumbles in his postseason career. So basically, the guy hasn't performed in the postseason. Now, the thing with Lamar Jackson, like I said in my previous statement, is that in order for him to win it all, or at least to get to the Super Bowl, he will not do it with the Ravens. He will not do it with the Ravens, especially now that you have Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter is an old school coach. This guy is going to bring a 1932 Canton Bulldogs philosophy to the Baltimore Ravens. Run first, and play smash mouth, cut your throat defense, run the ball a lot. So in that scenario, under that circumstance, I don't see a path for Lamar Jackson, especially after Harbaugh leaving. Because remember, Harbaugh won it. It seems like Harbaugh won it like 40 years ago. They won it 2012 against the 49ers with Joe Flacco under center. So at the end of the day, Lamar is in the mid-prime of his career. So in order for him to get to the Super Bowl and win and try to win it all, he needs to get out of Baltimore. It's a must, in the sense that coaching changes, philosophy of play is going to be a run first team, and it's a team sport at the end of the day. So if Lamar Jackson can land in another team with a better structure, with a better surrounding cast, because at the end of the day, like I was saying about the draft picks. So the last 10 draft picks of the Baltimore Ravens: 2025 Malachi Starks, 24 Nate Wiggins, 23 Zay Flowers, 22 Kyle Hamilton, 21 Rashad Bateman, 21 Odafe Oweh, 2020 Patrick Queen, 2019 Hollywood Brown, 2018 Lamar. I mean, half of those players are not with the Ravens anymore. And the offensive one, like, come on, Zay Flowers? Is Zay Flowers an all-pro wide receiver? No. Is Hollywood Brown an all-pro wide? Of course not. So other than Tyler Linderbaum, there's a lot of, I mean, there has never been a structure. At one point, the leading receiver in the Baltimore Ravens in the 2023 season, it was Mark Andrews, for God's sake, the tight end. So if Lamar Jackson can go to another team like the Philadelphia Eagles with a solid run game, with a good front office, good defense, he doesn't have to be the savior. He doesn't have to put the team on his back, and he just can do his thing with a better supporting cast around him, and he probably can get to the Super Bowl.
So with that being said, has Lamar Jackson been secretly like pushed back, held back because of the talent they have put around him that hasn't been up to par for his standards and that organization? Because isn't Ozzie Newsome the general manager, or did they let him go? I don't forget who it was or whatever.
Ozzie Newsome is the president. The general manager is Mr. Eric DeCosta. He watches our show. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Eric DeCosta. He watches the show. In my opinion, he has been. What I'm seeing with Lamar Jackson is the same scenario that I saw with Aaron Rodgers with the Green Bay Packers, where the Green Bay Packers, in his whole career with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers threw a touchdown to just one player that was drafted in the first round, and that was Mercedes Lewis by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So at the end of the day, what I'm witnessing with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens is the exact thing that I saw with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Aaron Rodgers only had a top 10 defense 1 year in his career with the Green Bay Packers, and that's the year that they won the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lamar Jackson is going on the same path, a team that doesn't bring a supporting cast around him, a team that doesn't seem to have a direction, while you have a team like the Philadelphia Eagles that are always on win now mode with an extremely, probably the worst fan base in sports, an extremely demanding fan base in Philly, that a team that was removed a couple of years from winning the Super Bowl, and they already won everybody out, Sirianni, Hurts, and everybody out. So you bring Lamar with that structure, and he's going to blossom, because I'm not going to say that the Baltimore Ravens have directly sabotaged his performance but the draft, that's the best example. Patrick Queen is not with the Ravens anymore. Rashad Bateman is not what, like Denny Green said, he's not what we thought that he was going to be. Hollywood Brown, who? Hollywood Brown. I mean, what are we doing here? So the Ravens indirectly and with other intangibles, they have stunted the performance of Lamar in the playoffs, and his growth and his blossoming into this star that they want him to take him to the promised land, but they haven't given him the tools to do so.
So that means he will have to. So then that means he will be the savior. Then, if all those things that you mentioned, right? They want these players out. They would just remove. They're what, a season removed from the Super Bowl. So he would be the savior, because you want him to come in and change the culture immediately, right? I mean, he's going to have to be.
He will be the savior on paper, but he wouldn't have to be the savior in the sense that like that team is ready. It's basically like when you have a brand new car ready to go, all shiny with a nice engine, but you haven't registered. The car is ready to go. It's just not ready to go on the road. So basically, at the end of the day, you bring a player like Lamar to the Eagles, and that team will function well. I mean, the quarterback position is the most important position in all of sports. We all know that. But the Cincinnati Bengals, when Joe Flacco stepped up and he was averaging almost 400 yards a game, it's the best example that players have a big influence, but also like the structure around the players plays a huge part. This is a guy that came in at 40 years old off the couch, after watching Family Guy and eating donuts and iced coffee every night. And he came into the league, and all of a sudden, Joe Flacco was throwing 380, 390, 420 yards. He had T. Higgins. He had Jamar Chase. He had a structure around him and an offensive coordinator that was basically designing the game around his tendencies and his strengths. So at the end of the day, from my perspective, what I'm seeing with the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson is the same thing that I saw with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, a team that does not draft weapons, a team that does not bring in offensive capital for the player, a team that does not emphasizes the greatness of the player that they have on hand. When you look back at Mike McCarthy and those Packers team, it's unbelievable that they only won one Super Bowl and they only have one top 10 defense. And now with Jesse Minter coming in, this is a team that is going to run the ball 40 times a game, 40, 45 times. So I don't see a path where Lamar is going to get better under the circumstances that he has to confront in Baltimore.
That's the argument we've been having for quite some time. He's reached his ceiling. He got to get. Only way now to cement his legacy is he got to get it done. We need a Super Bowl win from him. We need a strong playoff run in the Super Bowl. I don't care which team it's for. This is what.
At this point, he's one of the people. He's one of the people that if he left, you wouldn't be upset that he left.
No.
Got you. I'm with it.
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
We definitely need y'all to do that. Like, subscribe, and share. The share is the most part. It's the best part for me. You got to get more extra people involved. Everybody loves sports. We talk. So just share. Like, share it to your friends. Share it to your page. Share it to whatever. Involvement keeps the conversations going, even though I got plenty of conversation for it. It doesn't matter whether you come or not. But we would like you guys to come and chime in because I like to hear everybody's opinion and what they how they feel about certain situations at all times. So, like, getting back to any of it, like of both sports, because I don't believe like the way the NBA is. How can we avoid tanking? How can we avoid it? Like I have a weird concept that I was just thinking about and just whatever. So like, what if the NCAA champions, whoever the first seed is, the first pick in the draft, obviously the NBA is a lottery, right? But the NFL. But I'm just going to do this from a basketball standpoint. What if the first seed or the first pick had to take the national champions as a 5? Now, whatever you do with them, how you fit them into your program, into your team, that is what it is. But you had to take that starting 5 that won a national championship. Now, let's just think. We could have had UNLV on a whole squad. Could have had that Duke team still intact. Christian Laettner might have not have been a whole bum or a disappointment, right? I don't know, because he'd have probably been more comfortable playing with the team he came up and accustomed to playing with, right? On whatever team. So what if like things like that were implemented? I'm not saying it has to be that specifically, but I don't know. Maybe we could figure something else out where teams might not want to deal with that type of situation where they not going to tank to get one player that's still not probably going to change your whole freaking program. Because I think 5 people could have changed their program. I thought Greg Anthony's was pretty good. As a Knicks fan, I think you might know that too. I thought Larry Johnson was pretty good. I think Stacey Augmon pretty good in the NBA. So you got 3 out of the 5. I know you had Ackles and Hunt. But 3 out of the 5 panned out. And who knows what they would have did? What if the Fab 5 would have won the championship and they would have all went to the NBA and been on one team together? Like, I mean, just thinking about it. What if that UConn team would have been on this whole squad? Who knows? I'm just saying, just brainstorming, just talking shit. The things that come out of my head is different. sometimes. But go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all think of
From
whatever y'all want to and however y'all feel.
from a union standpoint, it won't be allowed. And what's going on with the NBA, it's a good idea. Heck, I'm not gonna take anything away from you, but the union, it'll basically be involved. You know, the union. I mean, the jail right now is being run by the inmates, and that's one of the main problems, that owners and the commissioner doesn't have a lot of say, because the players have too much influence on the league. Ever since Mike Conley got that contract for $30 million a year for doing nothing, we have been basically on a downward spiral, rewarding mediocrity. So at the end of the day, what the NBA is doing is basically reflecting the state of society, that we are just giving participation trophies. We are just rewarding mediocrity. We're just giving medals for doing nothing. And one of the best ways, because if you look at the NBA, like we spoke with Naimir last week, there's a lot of athleticism. There's a lot of good things that we can still take from the NBA, but it needs a lot of tweaking. The NBA right now is like having a hot girl with a big booty and a pretty face, but she's missing a tooth. Basically, you don't have the complete package. You need more competitiveness. And at the end of the so at the end of the day, follow me on this one. At the end of the day, the idea that I have for the NBA, and it's inspiring soccer. You know, I'm the resident soccer expert on the show. Is for the first 8 seeds that go to the playoffs, the next year, the top 8 prospects they have to do a lottery between those 8 seeds. So basically, you are rewarding competitiveness. So if you stay out of the playoffs, then basically your chances of getting, because we think that, look at the Cleveland Browns, and I'm gonna go real quick to the others. Look at the Cleveland Browns. They have been 25. And the Cleveland Browns have made the playoffs like 3 times in the last 25 years. So we have this notion, erroneously, evidently, that if you send the top picks to the worst team, the team's all of a sudden gonna get better. That's not the case. You have generational talent like a Tim Duncan or like a David Robinson, like a Tim Duncan or like a David Robinson, that is going to change a franchise for the long run. But you don't see that many cases. So if you give from number 1 seed to number 8 seed the first top 8 prospects, and then you do a lottery, and then you have those 8 teams that made the playoffs 1 through 8, and then you scramble them according to the lottery. For example, the Knicks are in 3rd place right now in the East. So basically, the Knicks will end up with one of the top 8 prospects. But the way that we have it now is completely worse. We're rewarding mediocrity because these teams don't care about winning, because they just want to get those first picks. So at the end of the day, it's just a minor change like that for the system to.
So I'm like, I kind of get where you're going. Like, so if you're the better team, you should get the better player, right, to keep your franchise going. And that will make other teams play harder.
Not only exactly. So not only the better player, the better chance to improve next year. So because at the end of it's like the NFL. The NFL has revenue share, but they give at the end of the year even more bonuses for those teams that market the team. That's why that's why you see a team like the Cowboys. That's why you see a team like the Cowboys that hasn't won since JFK was in office. They keep getting a lot of money because Jerry Jones is extremely good at marketing. This is a guy that he practices in California. They have Mexico City is like one of their biggest fan base in Mexico. So if you keep rewarding mediocrity, that's what you're going to keep getting, mediocrity. But if you're a good team, if you're a team that did well, you should be able. You should have the merit, the right to even get better. But those teams that are tanking, basically they're on the same level of the chance to get a good player than a team like, for instance, like the Celtics that are in 2nd place in the East right now without their second best player, Jason Tatum, all year long. So you need to reward like competitiveness, effort, and winning, and not mediocrity.
And to me, like the whole Philly experiment, and you could rock out. The whole Philly experiment kind of took a bad turn. So you had Marquise Fultz, you had Embiid, who was very injury prone. Like that whole trust the process. Why would I trust that process? What championship do you got for tanking? What players do you have for tanking that have took you to the promised land besides Embiid? Like, and he a hurt player, and it's not even a promised land. Like the promise to be hurt, the promise to be out.
Which team still hasn't been to the NBA finals since the process?
This is what
that's what I was saying earlier. I think the NBA needs to address the lottery situation. They need to address that. I mean, I don't think that I like to reward winning. In the sense of saying, well, maybe they should. I think at this point, forget all of that. You got how many teams now? 32?
32.
All teams got the same amount of. All teams have the same amount of ping pong balls. Like, if we're gonna make it fair that way. I'm not a fan of. I used to be a fan of that. Of the worst team. Let's try to help them get better. But when it becomes blatant like they're doing, and then then these teams still get it wrong. You still go out and draft a player that's not going to change your franchise, right? So you're giving them an opportunity to get worse. Then they have these. They drafted like the Washington Wizards. Jesus Christ! Like, what do you like? Y'all got to the point where now you have to bank on getting players who were proven but can't stay healthy to save their life to try to bring your franchise back to some kind of relevancy. They've gotten it wrong time and time again. So what are we doing here? Are we going to keep giving these losing teams chances to get worse? So
because we keep watching. No, go ahead.
Right. No, exactly. You have us as just fans of the sport in general for what we know it should be. So we keep watching, hoping that we're going to get what we've been accustomed to seeing. Like, I'll be honest, this week I haven't watched any basketball. I watched baseball, and it's crazy. I've watched more baseball than basketball this week.
I mean,
go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but another thing that we are witnessing with the NBA is like the other night, there were 168 players off that night. So if you're a kid going to your first game.
You say there was 168 players off?
Across the league. Injuries, illness, night off, you name it.
And we talking about back in the day from where we come from what we're accustomed to seeing, people playing 82, 81, 80 games, unless it was a significant injury. And they didn't have the technology that they did nowadays to get healthier faster, right? So you were really playing hurt back in the day. You were really playing hurt if you played that many games. Go ahead.
Exactly. So if you're a kid and you're going to your first game and you went to your first NBA game with your parents, with your brother, cousins, whatever the case may be, you basically across the league you had kids that probably went to see a star or a player that they wanted to see and they didn't get to see it. So I don't know about y'all, but like if you go back to the first sporting event, the first time that you went to a sporting event live of your team, like for instance, I can recall many, but like when I went to watch the Yankees for the first time, on my first day watching the Yankees, I saw it was Yankees against the Indians. So I saw Manny Ramirez out here looking like a pineapple on a steak. Paul O'Neill with his mafioso afro.
Does not.
You had Don Mattingly at first base. Like I saw a good 6 to 8 legends basically. Manny Ramirez, Paul O'Neill, Don Mattingly. Jeter wasn't up yet. We're talking about a long time ago, prehistoric era. But the point is,
I got to see my Darryl Strawberry and all my boys that.
There you go. So if you're a kid,
so if
you were a kid and you went to the game, you know what I'm saying? You were expecting, because yes, we follow teams, but we also follow players. I mean, like I've previously said on the show, like I went to the Lamar Jackson game against the Jets, opening day 2022, just to see Lamar Jackson. We are sports fans, so you go to the games. We are fans. We pay their salary. So for a kid to go to an NBA game, and this is a joke what the NBA has with the off nights, with the players off, with the players injuries and all of that. That's the first thing. The draft is another issue Officiating is another issue. You have dudes here doing more steps than Usain Bolt at the 2012 London Olympics. So it's too many factors. Like when you look at the NBA All-Star, something as simple as the All-Star, think about 30 years ago, bro. You didn't even go out, bro, on the NBA All-Star weekend. You just stay from Friday night doing the Celebrity All-Star game, Saturday night the festivities with the 3-point and slam dunk. Sunday you did your thing, but then at 8 o'clock, 7:55.
Don't forget the 12 o'clock stay in school jam where they had the mascot dunk contest and all of that for the kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, exactly. So at the end of the day, your girlfriend was like, let's go to the club tomorrow. No, it's not happening next weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because the NBA All-Star weekend, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in my opinion, back in the day, it wasn't the Super Bowl, but it was up there, bro. Like people were like tuned into that.
That weekend was almost just as important.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, so you have the NBA All-Star officiating, the replays. A lot of these replays, they're not getting it right. The draft picks and the players' injuries and getting off nights. Again, 168 players. That's a lot of players. Mind you, we're not even talking about the topic that we touch all the time, the lack of competitiveness. So the NBA has a lot to do that. And just like Ant said, that he's watching baseball, look at baseball. And I've spoken with Heck many times about this. I never watched baseball in April. I've watched a couple of games already. The pitch clock, the dynamism of the game. The game is geared more towards a younger audience now. And us that are old school are enjoying the game even more than ever, because in 2 hours you can watch a baseball game in 2 hours and go do your thing. Go to the golf course, go out, go this, have a drink, whatever you want, go to dinner. But you watch your baseball game already. So the NBA needs to do that. They need to dynamize the game with all the steps that we just mentioned.
So that might go back to what we just had a comment, which we've already touched on before, but he said making the season shorter, that doesn't help anything. I at this point, I am all for making the season shorter. And it's possibly for the same reason, the way the kickoffs go, the way we start at the 30-yard line, the way we do all the other things that they do in the NFL. Like, you have to make some kind of change because you have to adjust to these guys to get their maximum effort.
I don't care if it's 50 games, bro.
Huh?
I don't care if it's 50 games.
Exactly. We have to do something to make them more competitive,
bro. The product is the product. Do you know the last
so you think it'll be
MVP that played 82 games? The last MVP to play 82 games was Kobe Bryant. That's the last. You talking about 18 years ago? Was the last person to play 82 games and win MVP. To the point where we now had to structure the awards around how many games you play. Like, that's how bad it got. You got
exactly.
You got players now. Now they want to fight with it. They want to have the union fight to eliminate that rule. So you want to be rewarded MVP for playing 58 games?
Mediocrity. And the last.
But what do we do for us people who grew up the way that we grew up? How do we get the excitement back? It has to be for us, the viewers, at this point. I know y'all, most of y'all remember a movie called The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Where they was racing, and if you die, like, you the last person. Like, dude, we have to do something, right? Whether these NBA players got to blow up at the end of a game with a chip in their neck or something, if they don't perform to their duties, I don't care, son. Like, somebody do something.
Somebody
and just hit the nail in the coffin. It's exactly the same thing that I was going to say. The last strike shortened season was 1999 when the San Antonio Spurs. It was a 50-game season when the San Antonio Spurs beat my beloved New York Knicks in the finals with Mr. Larry Johnson, Marcus Camby, and the whole crew. And it's like Ant says, back in the day, you could play 20 games and they were going to be 20 games. 5 pounds of garbage and 1 pound of garbage at the end of the day is garbage. So if you go from 82 games and you keep putting the same product in 70 games, it's still gonna be garbage. It's still gonna be the same product. So at the end of the day, the draft picks, officiating, coaches have a lot to do. They have been accomplices in this mess in the sense of the philosophies of the game. Because the NCAA tournament this year, I've noticed it more than ever. Which, by the way, with the Michigan Wolverines, shout out to Heck and all their fans for that big championship. With the Michigan Wolverines winning the national tournament this year, it was the highest rated tournament since 2008 when Derrick Rose and the Memphis Tigers were in their highest. And if you go around and you ask young kids in your surroundings, were more tuned into the NCAA tournament than they are to the NBA. That tells you something. We do like scoring, but we want to see competitiveness. Like at the end of the day, if the NFL became the flag football league, the FFL, we will be criticizing it already. But the NFL, you see still a lot of defense. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The NFL, you don't see all games, albeit that you're seeing 4,000 yards passing every year in and out. But you're not watching 60 to 54 games in the NFL on every game. Just like this week, the disgrace in the NBA, the Memphis Grizzlies making 29 3-pointers and losing the game. What? I mean, the NBA is a joke at this point, and big measures need to be addressed because they are going to keep losing viewership more and more.
I got a way you kill this whole NBA crap. Kill AAU. Ooh. Kill AAU. Take the game back to the streets. Put the games back in the playground.
It's no longer outside.
Put the game back. Put it back in the playground. Mm-hmm. Know what I'm saying? Where talent was discovered playing in hood basketball tournaments and these memorial tournaments. And you know what I'm saying? Like, put it back to that, where these young kids learn how to compete the right way. And learn how to play basketball the right way. Like these kids, I'm not going to take nothing away from their athleticism because it is crazy. I love to see what some of these players can do. I love to see that some of these players can just are more than just specialists, which is fine. But it's just way too much. It's too much fluff. I don't want to watch 1,000 3-pointers. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see players not playing defense or giving an effort on defense. I don't want to come down and see every team running the same structure, the same set. Young player get the ball on at the top of the key. I talked about it last week. It's a high pick and roll, and then that's it. Then whatever you get out of that is what you get out of it.
And quick question for you and Heck. You remember back in the day when they used to send the top prospects and college players to Rucker Park? Like to play, like that time when Joakim Noah moved to New York to play in Rucker Park and play like in the playgrounds, because to become tougher and sharpen their skills. You know what I mean? Because like you said, that's a great point. We talk about all the time what's good, Fluffy, how's everything. So we talk about all the time how soft the NBA has become. So that will be a quick toughen it up, bring it outside, like Ant says.
Bring it back to the playground. Well, you have to learn. Well, you have to play. Like when the dudes that I and I'm not even gonna say my era, right? Because my era was just different, man. When you was a kid and you played, you had to play against grown men in them playgrounds. You had to play against grown men in them playgrounds. Yeah. You had to learn how to fight and be tough, and then
make your bones.
Right. It ain't just I'm 8 years old and you see me working out. So now, that's the one. He's the one. He's the one at 8 years old. But he's not playing against nobody. Right? Like he's not playing against nobody. Then they go and they put these kids out with trainers at 6, 7, 3, 4, 5 years old. They got a trainer. You want to know why though?
You want to know why though? Because that's the parents not just letting their kids be kids, right? So they're pushing them to something that they actually might hate later. They might not even freaking like basketball. They might not even like football, but you're programming them for your own success. You're not programming them for your child's success.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Your child might want to freaking be a teacher or a humanitarian and freaking do something else. But you have already started the process of programming your own kid for your own good, which is why we have all these kids in sports. It ain't just because you want them to do something. Like, you're making them train. Like, you're making a 6 and 7 year old go out there and lift weights and do push-ups. And I ain't lift a weight.
You ain't did none of that. You ain't do none of that until I moved to Connecticut.
I ain't do none of that even after.
Like, and even at that point, right? It was only because, and I did it because I knew I was at a disadvantage because of my size. So I had to get tougher. I had to get stronger.
I was disadvantaged out of my size too. I was a $125.
Yeah. So I knew I had to get tougher. I had to get stronger, right? And I still wasn't at the level of none of the elites, man, that I seen coming up in my era. But you start talking about the Stephon Marburys, ask them, the Speedy Claxtons, the Eric Barkleys, those guys in my age range, in my bracket of basketball, ask them how they got tougher. It was playing against grown men, playing in the street. So then now when you get to the next level, you playing with that kind of chip on your shoulder. You want to compete. I want to be the best. These dudes, they are not playing for the love of the game. They're playing for that money.
And their parents, parents pushed them to that.
It's pushed in their mindset to be a job and not a game.
Exactly. So there's no more love. There's no more actual straight, I love to do this. Right. Allen Iverson played football and basketball. We got multi-sport athletes out here that chose to do a certain sport. Even somebody like Kyler Murray was a great baseball player.
But that's why, at that point, bro, and I don't mean to cut you off really quick on that point, when we had back then, when it was multiple sports players, look at the injuries. The injuries were not what we have now. They were conditioned.
I was about to get into that.
Different sports, so their body dealt with more, and the cuts and the shifts and the things that you have to do in those other sports prepared you. So now look, you got players that are coming up playing basketball with trainers and just one level of thought and one process in regards to what you're supposed to do, and your body is not really conditioned for it.
You're not conditioned, period. Like, all right. So I was gonna bring this up. I'm glad you went to that, because I was gonna bring it up on how these players train and why are there so many soft tissue injuries so early in these guys' career. Like, you have football at this point, right, where we're taking away the preseason, right, and they're not playing. So how do you prepare your running back or your wide receiver to get ran over by that linebacker when you're crossing the middle on a 5-yard sling? How do you prepare these guys to take hits or to run fast on a fast break if they not playing? If they not playing, if you're not playing your superstars, you're not playing your stars, talking about I don't let them to get hurt. But then they're gonna get hurt in the first 2 games. Anyway, at least if they get hurt in practice or preseason or prior, they have that time to now rest and recuperate to get ready for the regular season, stupid. And you know what you have in your player, right? You know if you have your player is weak and can't take this hit. You know if he can't run a sprint or he might have a hamstring injury. So now you know how to move your player. Now you're just saying, oh, he's too nice, we're not going to play him.
Right. And that's like in the NBA. Do you know? I know a couple of people. Training camps used to be 3-a-day practices. 3 practices. You can have 2 and 3 practices in a day. You're talking about for like at least 3 weeks where they're doing this training camp with 2 and 3 day practices, workouts, and things like that, where you pretty much not even going home.
They spend more time in the weight room right now.
And then they go, and a lot of these players played at least 75 games. Right? The major injuries that we see now, the players were not having back in the days like this. So you shorten up training camp where they go in and they really work out for 2 hours because of the union. And the union put it together that way, right? Where they don't want their players in training camps that long. And then they only can practice for like 2 hours, which is what are you really going to do in 2 hours? By the time you really get to sweating, 2 hours is done. It's time to go home. You're not preparing your body in 2 hours for a 82 game season and then a playoff. Your body's going to start breaking down because it's not ready. Because then these dudes in the summer times, a lot of them go home and really just don't do anything.
Yeah,
how many players you see get better?
That's why I don't agree with the shortening the season, because if you look at the injury report statistically, foreigner players led by the Europeans, they are less injury prone than our American born or American grown players. And at the end of the day, when you look at a guy like Chris Duarte, he's not in the NBA no more. But Chris Duarte just finished playing in Puerto Rico a few months ago. Now he's in Spain. In a couple of months, he'll probably be playing in the Dominican Republic. These are guys that are putting up 100, 120 games a year.
I seen Bobo the other day playing.
Yeah, you see these players. I mean, Jay Crowder was in Mexico. Now he's in Puerto Rico. So these are players that are globetrotting and played 100, 120 games like nothing, trying to get back to the NBA. So you mean to tell me that these pampered soft NBA players, they want to go from 82 to 65, 70 games, when at the end of the day, when Luka Doncic was 16 years old, he was playing in Real Madrid 80, 90 games a year, playing in the European Conference League Championships and playing in the homegrown league in Spain. So what are we doing here? So
and then you have Alonzo Ball, who has played in this league for probably 8 to 10 years and has only actually played 3 of them.
Exactly. So
in total,
at the end of
the day, that's what I mean.
82, right? That's 82 times 3.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, shortening the season and going back to Heck's point when he said to that young kids need to play the game. The great Bill Parcells, the legend coach from the Giants, Cowboys, and Jets, he used to say that you can teach a kid to tackle, but if you never let him tackle, he'll never tackle well. So at the end of the day, when you look at a guy like Lawrence Taylor, in my opinion, the greatest defensive players who have ever existed in the NFL, Lawrence Taylor was a phenomenal tackler. But if you watch tape from him, he was a phenomenal hunter. Like if you see him going sideline to sideline, that's a guy that didn't make a bad step toward trying to make that tackle. That's a guy that knew how to hunt players to make the tackle. So you only learn that by playing the game. You only perfect that by being.
And he did that while smoking crack, by the way.
And that's it.
Exactly.
Y'all smoking crack. Something is wrong with you people. What the hell has this world come to?
The crazy part was Darryl Strawberry. All the other people, and I'm not going to lie, like most of our people in the 80s and 90s, Michael Irvin, like if you were a Cowboys fan, all of this nonsense, they did this while on drugs.
Sniffing coke. Then you have the players that come to after the game. They drinking beers and smoking cigarettes and all that, but play 82 games.
And play the whole season, play 82 games, play 5 years in a row without missing a game. Yeah. What happened to you this soft ass generation? What happened? What happened? Please, I know what happened. I will go crazy right now, but at this point, we need to take a little small halftime break. And then we could come back. Whatever's on y'all guys' mind, please let me know when we come back. Oh, because that whole shit just got me tight right now. It got me tight. But we're gonna bring it to this halftime show. Whatever you gotta do in these 2 minutes, and then come back and we're gonna finish with the What the Heck show.
Now it's time for the What the Heck halftime show.
We don't walk in, we slide in, we don't talk loud, we vibed in. What the heck, 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 what the heck.
you know we gleam. Kick, drum, knock, make the whole field shake. Every move sharp. Yeah, we don't break. Horns hit high, then we drop down low. Crowd get hype when the snare rolls slow. From the stands to the field, feel the energy build. It's that real halftime show. No chill. Stop, cut. Stop, cut. Drumline, talk to him. Boom, boom. Dancers hit. Hey. Crowd scream. Hey, hey. What the heck? Hey, hey. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? Hey, hey. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Let's go. We talking sports. Yeah, yeah. Band too cold, yeah, we run this lane. Break down plays like a post. Game from the field to the mic, yeah, we bring that spark. Turn halftime hype in the straight up art. Crowd on 10 when we hit that check. Everybody yell back. What the heck? Sports Talk Live, you know what's next. We the voice of the game, put it to the test. What the heck? 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 We talking sports. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. What the heck? Let's go. Boom, boom, boom.
What the heck?
So yeah, we back after our little halftime show, you know, courtesy of our guy, Mr. Jim Savage. Make sure you like and subscribe because I definitely
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
I'm gonna need my AI chick and her Ben and my Benz as a whole. We in the building. Right now, what I want to do shortly is I want to jump into that what the heck moment. I have one. It's a little weird one, and all I want to do is say,
What the heck?
so one of our richest franchises and also champions are denying a 50-year-old season ticket holder, the Dodgers, backed by Magic Johnson and crew. He's 81 years old. This guy does not know how to use computers and whatever very well. And he's been a season ticket holder for 50 years. Because he has a flip phone and he cannot print the tickets or do the shit you've got to do online to hold it up and they scan it, they won't allow him to have his tickets. So where have we gone in this world that we're going to deny somebody who's been supporting you for 50 years as a season ticket holder? And all of a sudden, because this person, you can't just let him print out his tickets or get his tickets at the window or whatever he needs to do. You're going to stop him from coming to games. For the past 50 years, he's been paying you and supporting your franchise. You're going to stop him because he's not technology smart. He don't know how to use a smartphone because he's 81 years old. Or he doesn't. He might have a landline, no computers. Like, I don't get it. What are we doing to these people, to the older generation? Very disrespectful, in my opinion. I need something done. Hopefully, everybody else has gotten a hold of this. And to get this man his tickets, how he is used to getting his tickets. Because it's foul business from the Dodgers and Magic Johnson. You should be ashamed of yourself, knowing your situation. You should be ashamed of yourself. And you should be supporting this man first. You should have been the first person to speak out, being that you are minority owner and the building has stocks and stakes in this bitch, you should have been the first person to speak out, knowing your situations, knowing that you should have been dead 20 years ago, and knowing that that's who your son is. You should have been spoke out for this 81-year-old man that they not giving tickets to because he can't operate a laptop and or a cell phone properly at his age, that been around for 50 years supporting something you just came into maybe 10 years ago. So that's my what the heck moment of the week. I don't know what you guys got, but you can either piggyback or go on your own.
My what the heck moment is something that I think we skilled though. We haven't even touched on. We haven't even really talked about. First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you. Shout out to the WNBA on getting their money, right? And I think it's well deserved. But it's just something, the same thing that we talked about in regards to the NBA, right? Y'all got more money, but are you guys gonna put forth a product that is gonna make up for the checks that you guys are gonna be receiving now? Well, you ladies are gonna.
What's the name just got traded? Reese just got traded.
Yeah, Andrew Reese just got traded, right? Because you know what's gonna happen now. Some of these players that are gonna demand a bigger dollars, some of these franchises are not gonna be able to pay them. They're not gonna be able to pay all these players.
Nobody's watching. Nobody's coming to the game.
What's gonna happen? Exactly. So now you're gonna have where you think that you're adding more teams. They're trying to expand, right, and do like the NBA did. You're gonna have certain franchises fold. They're not gonna be able to pay these players, or they're gonna become the Washington Wizards. You're gonna have like 8 teams that really have no chance of winning because they're not gonna be able to afford the players, and they're gonna start trading away their better players to try to see if maybe they could get better through the draft. Because then now those rookie contracts are the only things that they're gonna be able to manage. So that's what I see happening. I hope it goes the other way because I'll be honest with you. A lot of people don't like the WNBA, but I do. And the reason why I do is because when you watch the women's game, you get to see a skill level, right? These females play the textbook way of the way the game is supposed to be played. Like they still pass and cut and things of that nature. Now they get the ball and miss the layup, but they're not dunking it, right? But you still get to see a good brand of basketball. I mean, I hate the fact that a lot of them are now starting to shoot too many threes too.
Yeah.
But it's still a good brand of basketball that they have. It's just I would like to see how they're gonna what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do to bring the viewership up so more people will be interested in the game, and this way they can bring in the revenue?
I mean, in the past 20 years, the WNBA has been on the red every year, and the NBA comes to the rescue. The problem, it goes back to the same thing that independently, if we like it or not. I mean, I had the opportunity to go see Caitlin Clark David game against the Connecticut Sun. So at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. We all the three of us are basketball purists and we love basketball. The problem is that collectively, the NBA, when they implemented the WNBA, if you think about it, when the WNBA started, Lisa Leslie, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, it was the highest concentration of female talent that you had under one era towards the end of the 90s, early 2000s. But right now, sometimes you watch a WNBA game and it's like watching the 1937 Biloxi Rockets in the Mississippi Basketball League. So basically no dunks, a lot of missed layups, a lot of air balls on three. So it all comes down to the same thing that we were saying before. It's the product that you put on the floor. It's the product that not a lot of people are willing to sit down on a Friday night at 8 o'clock and watch the New York Liberty against the Minnesota Lynx. They have been a lot of pushing, a lot of efforts. But as of right now, some of these players during the offseason, they work as cashiers in Walgreens. So this player getting that contract over $1 million is good for the game. But the basketball as a sport in the female side hasn't caught up as much here in our nation as it has in nations like in Eastern Europe, for instance.
Man, so that's where so piggyback on off of those situations. When the WNBA first came out, we had Witherspoon, New York Liberty. We had Cheryl Swoops. You know, that team was stacked. What was it? Cynthia Cooper, Tina Thompson, and Cheryl Swoops.
Cheryl Swoops, yeah, that's cheating.
The Houston
team
Comets.
was stacked, right? But we didn't know, but we enjoyed. And going back, we talking 26 years at this point. I think it was 1999, between 98 and 99.
90, I think 97.
97 when it started, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember because they three-peated the Houston, whatever the hell they were.
Houston,
right?
But I think they just got their
Houston,
franchise back, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. I think they just got their franchise.
Yep.
Yeah, so like, but trying to beat them with that squad at that time with these other girls, and the girls was nice. Let's not get it twisted. At that time, to me, college women's basketball was at an all-time high in those days. You talking about the UConn joints with Rebecca Lobo, the Swing Cashes, the Shamika Holsclaws, and who's the announcer right now from Tennessee?
Candace Parker.
Yeah, the Candace Parkers, and then
Sue Bird,
the Sue Birds, the Dawn Staley's, and all of them. That they was tough. Even that other little light-skinned girl from Tennessee. I forgot her name at this point. But you know who I'm talking. Not Tamika Catchings, that's another one, but there was the little short one. Light-skinned girl.
I know you're talking about. She's from New York.
Yeah, she was a dog, my guy. She was a dog.
I remember her name. Oh no, you talking about further back, Nikki McCray?
Nope, not even her. You. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name at this point. It wasn't Dawn Staley, but because Dawn Staley paid for somebody else.
Yeah, no, but there's a lot, right? There's a lot. Like even some of these females, they're good basketball players. I watch, but it's back then when the viewership was kind of high because it was Kara Lawson. Yeah. Like those players back there, it was something new to watch. You watch basketball, the girl, we thought it was evolving, right? It went from watching for some of us that are old enough to have maybe seen a little bit of Cheryl Miller when she was in USC.
I didn't see her.
You older than me. You seen her. So we thought the game was evolving, and it was. I don't know what has happened within the league now. I don't know what's going on with the league now. Honestly, the league is starting, I think, come back, and honestly, a lot of people don't like to admit it. It's Caitlin Clark, right? Is what she's brought to the forefront.
Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese.
Her, and what I say with her, a lot of people don't give it credit for this too. And this is an argument that I made with somebody before when we was talking about the WNBA. I said, remember, the NBA had to be saved at one point. And who
Magic
came
Johnson
in to
and
save
Larry
it?
Bird.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird came in together and saved it. I
White
said,
and black.
I may not want to give Angel Reese the credit that she deserves as far as a basketball player, but she's tough. She ain't going nowhere. And she's a dog. So you have your Larry Bird, Magic Johnson coming to save the WNBA now, and we'll see what happens. I just hope that a lot of these franchises are able to now keep up with these girls. I'm not gonna say they don't deserve it; they deserve to get paid, right? They shouldn't have to play a basketball season and then go get a job at Target. You know what I'm saying? Or have to go overseas just to get paid, or to continue to get paid just to survive and take care of their families.
Nah, because they sell out an arena here and there too. The problem is they're not selling it every night.
It depends on what the matchup is.
Exactly.
It depends on what the matchup is, right? If you bring in Dallas with Paige Bucher, or you bring in Caitlin Clark, you bring in the New York Liberty. People want to see those players.
So somebody just got traded just now. I don't know. And like I said, I don't know how much of a big WNBA fans we are, but Rashay Jackson just got traded to the Sky from LA. So in exchange for Ariel Atkins. So that, breaking news, on what the heck sports, you know what I mean? We just had a trade. We have the Masters coming up at 2:00. Rory is tied with I think you know who. I forgot his name.
Cameron Young.
Young from Young. Yep. Rory is tied. That was a great birdie by Rory, which should have been an eagle. But then the other birdie he had prior to that, I think it was on the 16th hole. Just great playing. The around the trees, when he hit it into the trees on the left. And then to come out on the other side, the curve around the trees from the rough like that was to put it in the back on the green was just amazing work over there. But that's going to come down to the wire today. Don't forget that Scottie Scheffler's still in the mix at, I think, -7. So anybody could pop off today at the Masters. Do watch that. If you're not into golf, this is going to be a close tournament coming down the stretch. I'm definitely going to be tuning in at 2 p.m. But that's only if you're into golf. I just played last week. I will be
damn that.
I'm back in my zone. I got these new Callaways over here. I got my new Callaway set and I'm ready to go.
Damn that. Until somebody take me to buy short people clubs, I'm not playing. And I'm not.
I got some. I bought my daughter my 10-year-old a baby.
Now, you see how that go? I gotta have the clubs that your daughter got. That's why I'm not playing.
You could get a decent size, whatever, but it is what it is. But you can figure it out.
Let him get his what the heck, because I honestly
he needs one.
I got a conversation that I want to have before we go.
Before I get into my what the heck sports moment of the week, going back to Ant's point, another problem with the WNBA that we've seen arise is that they're trying to overdimension the reach of the league, and they need to take it a step back a little bit. When you look at minor league baseball, for instance, nobody watches a minor league baseball on TV. I don't remember the last time that I watched a minor league baseball on TV.
When Michael Jordan was playing.
Exactly, the last time I did. Now, but minor league baseball, year in and year out, is profitable. Like when you put those teams, AAA and AA teams, in small towns, those stadiums are always filled up. Not only because sometimes they get the stars rehabbing in those small towns, but also because it's the only thing for enjoyment for the town. So you don't see minor league baseball being pushed on ESPN week in and week out, yet those leagues stay alive and stay profitable. So the WNBA can be a similar, like when you ask a team like the New York Liberty to kind of duplicate what the New York Knicks do at MSG, it's almost impossible. It's too much for them. When the New York Knicks could be losing 70 games every year and playing with 5 Walmart card pushers, and MSG is still gonna be packed with everybody going to the game. So the WNBA is not a I'm not gonna say it's a bad product per se, but rather it's being pushed out of the dimension that it deserves. So if they keep it a little, back in the day when ESPN2 started, I don't know if you remember it, they had all the skateboarding and sports that nobody watched. So the WNBA needs to take a step back, and if you live in a small town or if you want to go with the family, watch a nice basketball game, go ahead. But don't try to make it equal with the NBA, because it's going to be impossible to do so.
It definitely will be. Elena Deladon, I still love you. But keep going.
So for my what the heck sports moment of the week, golf, man. By the way, I have a tea time in Farmington in 2 hours. So the Masters. So Gary Woodland survived one of the players at the Masters, the most prestigious golfing event in the world. Gary Woodland, he survived a brain tumor. And ever since, he has been battling PTSD and anxiety attacks. He's back playing and he's at the Masters. And the guy, throughout the weekend, in his news conference, he has said that he feels persecuted. He has requested extra security because of his anxiety. It's at an all-time high. He's still playing. for those of us, Heck and myself, and pretty soon, and those golfers out there, you know that golf is the
When I get to Haiti kids golf clubs, then I'll play.
The mini me said, golf is the easiest game to play, the hardest to master. And golf, as it is a very demanding sport. It's brutal, it's challenging, it's tough on your mind. But to see a guy that has gone through so much, like Gary Woodland, surviving a brain tumor, PTSD, anxiety, the guys requesting extra security, the fans cannot get close to him because he thinks he's gonna get shot or something. It's extremely admirable for him, like to go through, especially at the Masters. We're not talking about the Corales Open in Cap Cana, Dominican Republic. We're talking about the Masters, the biggest stage. All the eyes are on the tournament today. And the guy, last time I checked, was 300 for the day, like 3 over for the tournament. And it's admirable. And at the same time, it's a quick reminder, like I've previously said, that one of the reasons why I love sports so much is that it resembles life a lot. You know, you win, you lose, you get up, you come back from behind, you get down, you do the comeback. And life is tough sometimes. And us minorities, Black and Latinos, we have the highest rates of mental illness and mental problems. And it's never like, if anybody feels like in our audience or anybody you know that feels that they need a little help, talk to a friend, talk to somebody. You can do it on your phone, you can do it somewhere. Because Gary Woodland is an example. This is a guy that is a millionaire, a professional golfer. He has everything, and he's still battling his own demons. So shout out to him. He's about to finish his round probably. And it's crazy, man. Like, golf is tough as it is, and having all that stuff, anxiety and all that stuff in your mind, and playing good rounds, it's mind-blowing in my opinion.
That's what's up. Anybody dealing with mental health and things like that could come back and compete, that's tough, man. Shout out to him.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, I talked to Steven the other day. I seen a little bit of
gonna
clip of
piggyback off of that.
With his, or you got
No, about what you doing, about what you're about to say. I know what you're about to say. And once you do that, I'm gonna go on a crazy rant. I'm tired, but go ahead.
Let's go. It's always a comparison. We talk about the LeBron, Kobe, Michael comparisons, and who's the GOAT and things like that. But I heard a conversation that almost it pissed me off because I like both players, but I didn't like the disrespect. Brandon Jennings said Allen Iverson, if somebody ever say his name, he said Allen Iverson, if you swap him out with Steph Curry, he does not have the championships that Steph Curry has, but Steph Curry would have gotten a championship with that Philadelphia 76ers team that AI had. And
all right, go ahead.
That is blasphemy to me. When you have a player like Allen Iverson, where back in the time when the league was dominated by big men, and the defense had to scheme for just you as a 6 foot, 165 pound wet guard. But then you get a player like Klay Thompson, that same player, you will have a Klay Thompson on the wing that you can pass to, that you can't double off of. At one point, you have a Kevin Durant who you cannot double off of. And Allen Iverson was scorching these dudes. How can he not have I think he might have gotten more than 4 championships. I really think he might have gotten more than 4 championships if he had a roster like that. We're not killing Steph Curry or nothing, but his style of play would not have translated over and back in the days when in the early 2000s where he had to compete with a Shaquille O'Neal. It just would not have happened. When he doesn't have the players that he can pass to when he doesn't get an open shot, because Allen Iverson had Eric Snow, George Lynch, Aaron McKee, Dikembe Mutombo, Tyrone Hill. Eddie, let me know if you know any of these players.
Nobody.
I'm just saying that.
Nobody.
I'm just saying. I don't know how long
Nobody.
you've been watching how long you've been watching the NBA, right? But let me know if you know those players.
Matt Geiger, Eric Snow,
Jermaine Jones,
Speedy Claxton,
Todd McCullough. No,
just a bunch of Walmart car pushers, man. And that's my main problem. That's what my main problem. Like we've touched on this topic before.
Kevin Ollie. So when you got Steph Curry, who as dynamic as he is, you don't have these players that you can play off of. No, hell no. So go ahead, Steve.
Not Bo Jackson. I want you to say what you have to say because I'm not going to stop.
I'm so sick of these people. You know,
And whatever you have to say it. I'm gonna mute my mic until then I'm gonna do what I do.
Yes, and touch on the roster: Raja Bell, Rodney Buford, Speedy Claxton, Matt Geiger, Tyron Hill, AI, George Lynch, Todd McCullough, the big white boy, Rashawn McCloud, Mutombo Oli, Pepe Sanchez, Eric Snow. We talk like every time that we bring the comparisons of the era, I'm always going to stick with the same argument. I like to be consistent. I like to be coherent. The level of play, the level of competition, what AI did with that 2000-2001 76ers team, getting them over the hill, facing the Los Angeles Lakers led by Shaq and Kobe, it's something that it sits in the pantheon of great feats by athletes in any sport. I mean, albeit that the team had a couple of good weapons, that's a team that coached by Larry Brown, they extremely overachieved on what they were supposed to do. So no, like if you would have put Steph Curry, again, two things can be true at the same time. I'm not taking anything away from Steph Curry, but like we've mentioned in the show previous time before, the NBA is predicated on a perimeter game nowadays. It's less physical, it's less defensive oriented. When AI did his thing, AI just did it like from a pure basketball skills standpoint with no perimeter game, basically. So at the end of the day, it's asinine every time that people bring the same argument, comparing eras, when you know that era is always going to win solely on the merit of competitiveness. And if Steph Curry would have, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, the amount of greats, Hall of Famers, all-time players that didn't win a championship back in the day, what makes you think that one of these players nowadays shooting from midcourt every 2 shots would have done great back then? On the contrary, I think it would have been the other case around. If you had a player like Charles Barkley right now, like I previously said on the show, that 2000 Trailblazers team, that, by the way, Netflix probably watched the show and heard us, and now they're doing a documentary all of a sudden on them. I've mentioned it on the show numerous times. That team, you put the 2000 Portland Trailblazers right now, and they can easily beat anyone because that bench on that team would have been a starting 5 right now.
On a team where Jermaine O'Neal wasn't even part of the...
Jermaine O'Neal was passing the Gatorade and shining the shoes to Brian Grant and braiding Brian Grant's hair, man. That's what Jermaine O'Neal was, the water boy on the bench, bro. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, to let Mr. Heck go.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So we're not gonna skip that. He said he was braiding his hair. But
braiding Brian Grant's hair is wild. Like,
yeah, so to the man with braids in his hair.
Are you okay? I'm great, Bob.
You know that Miguel Tejada. By the way, Miguel Tejada selling the empanadas, cheese, chicken, and vegetable, man. That joke is always coming on the show, bro. It's never too late to do it. It comes spontaneously.
Classic.
But Jermaine O'Neal, the squad was so stacked that you had Stacey Ogman and Greg Anthony playing dominoes on the bench, bro. They weren't doing shit, man. They weren't doing nothing. That team was so stacked. You had Deathless Cramp, the German white boy, doing nothing, man, on the bench. He was playing a Game Boy on the bench. That team was so stacked. So at the end of the day, before I let Mr. Heck go, it's my same argument. The league was stronger. The league was more competitive. The league was more difficult to beat. Like, so you mean to tell me that Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, all these players that never won it, like back in the day, it was because they were not capable of? No, it was the competitive nature of the game. So if anything, if Iverson would have played in this era, he would have easily have 2-3 rings. Go ahead, Mr. Heck.
Yeah, take us home, brother.
First of all, what I need everybody to do, whoever watches this,
Like, subscribe, and share What the Heck Sports Show.
and don't forget to tune in. Just keep an eye on whenever these guys are about to have their music battle versus whatever they're about to do. They're gonna get it in. So just keep an eye out for that. What I have to say off of what you said and not Bo Jackson. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of people comparing, putting people on other people's teams and saying what they could have did in this era and in that era. Number one, you wouldn't have been brought up the same. I don't want to hear Michael Jordan in this era. I don't want to hear LeBron James in the 80s, early 90s. I don't want to hear the example you just brought up. I'm tired of hearing it. And I tell you, because you wouldn't have been brought up the same. What you went back to in taking away the AAU and going back to the blacktop is a reason for attitude. It's a reason for your parents. It's a reason for the kids that you've been brought up around. It's your environment that you've been brought up around. You would not be, LeBron James would not be the same player at 6'8" and 6'9" at 240 back then than he would today. He just wouldn't be the same player attitude-wise because he wouldn't have been brought up to play that way. He'd have been brought up to be a power forward. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird are, and very other few, surpass that. So
even Kevin Durant at 7 feet, really quickly, he would have been a power forward center. So, but go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. Like, so you were taught to play within a structured environment. These people are free, as to say, the slaves. The slaves are free now, right? Abraham Lincoln signed it up. The slaves are free, right? Allegedly, right? But you would not have been brought up the same mentality-wise. This day and age is brought up soft as hell, as we have lamented on this show time and time again. So who knows how Allen Iverson would have played in this era, because he wouldn't have been brought up the same. He wouldn't have been brought up on the playground, how he was brought up dribbling the football, or maybe his story wouldn't have been the same due to the fact that his story is different than everybody else's. The bowling alley incident happened to him do some time or whatever the heck he did. And John Thompson might have not looked at him. We can't say what anybody else would have did in this era because you're not brought up the same. You're just not. If I was brought up in this era, I'd be pussy. Plain and simple. I would not be who I am being brought up today who I was then. We can't keep comparing. Jordan would not be Michael Jordan, bro. We would not see that. They paved the way. They paved the way for people to do what other people do today. That's how sports works. We have our Babe Ruths. We have our Ohtanis. And that's because Babe Ruth pitched and hit 60 home runs. We have, it's called evolution, but we're not brought up the same way attitude-wise, mentality, and the way the game is played and coached in its entirety. Even when we talk about the travels and the physicality and all of that, the game is spread out. It's predicated upon offense. Even the NFL, we looking at people with fucking pillows over their helmets so they don't get a concussion. When back in the day, you was allowed to slam somebody on their head. Built different. Everybody's built different in different eras. So no, you can't say who would have did what on what team because they not built that way. Plain and simple, we just not built the same. I'm not built the way my mother was built or my father was built. I didn't come up that way. But I got most of it because that's the way they brought me up. Same way I know Ant as my first cousin 3 weeks, 2 weeks prior to him, 13 days, whatever it is. Brought up the same way. Lived in a different place, but brought up the same way. We built different. Michael Jordan was built different playing against his brothers. We got a Reggie Miller who couldn't beat his sister. And became one of our great. These niggas out here playing against their fucking best friends and not touching each other. And if they do touch each other, it's for the other community. Like, we not gonna sit here and do this. Tired of people going comparing and this person wouldn't have did this and did that. The fuck you would have. You don't know, because you don't know how they was brought up and how they played.
You talking about the other people?
Done.
You talking about the other people that is so selfish that they took 30% of the alphabet for themselves?
Exactly. You took exactly. And the LaMelo Balls, right? And the James Hardens. And the Josh Harts who touches his teammates on his teammates' private parts in the freaking the ceremony. Like, are we talking about these people? This is who we talking about. They brought up different. They brought up weird. None of don't compare our shit to theirs, number one. But like I'm saying, I don't know who Allen Iverson would have been in this generation. I don't know who Michael Jordan would have been in this generation. Number one, he might have had the same parents. His name wouldn't have been Michael Jordan. So what the fuck are we talking about every time we do this nonsense? It really bothers me because you're not going to disrespect Steph Curry. You're not going to disrespect Allen Iverson talking about who, da-da-da-da. That team was trash. Allen Iverson's a GOAT as far as I'm concerned when you're talking about that. He should just get a ring just because he won a game against that team.
That team right there is one of the only teams I said that deserved that 4th place trophy that we always talk about. Even though they were 2nd place, but when they talk about moral victories, moral wins,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Dikembe Mutombo was getting destroyed.
That's why that's left to barbershop talk, and honestly, that's what honestly has destroyed a lot of what it is that we're doing today. Right? Is sports talk, sports conversation, and a lot of that, man, it honestly breaks the morale because it's just something that, like you said, you just would never know, right? You just would never know. That's why I really don't like them comparisons. I hate them.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and it's every time they keep bringing it up, it's asinine. Like we've said in numerous previous shows that you a great rant, by the way, Mr. Heck, great points. And the way that this era, not only on the sports side, but also on the moral one, like we were brought up on stance of respecting our elders, dignity, having our word, you know what I'm saying? Not backstabbing, like being true men, being true friends. And like you've said before on the show, like you guys are family, but you play each other. It was a war after the game, then we family. And when you see, it reminds me of
not right after the game, but like maybe an hour or 2 hours later,
or a few weeks. But it's like
man, we ain't got no damn choice because we're in the bedroom like a jail cell.
It's like when we spoke last week, a couple of weeks before about Cameron Boozer. When you look at a guy that he's putting up the 25 and 10 every night, but you don't see the toughness in the kid. Like, and then you go back to Duke 30 years ago, you had dudes like Grant Hill sitting on the bench because there were players better than him on the team, and he had to wait for his turn. So at the end of the day, this generation is soft. But I have to be 100% agreeing with Heck when he says that Jordan wouldn't be, because it's a mentality, it's a mindset. And if you have kids and you had the opportunity to instill in them the same values, good for you, because a lot of the kids that surround us nowadays, the values, the mindset is extremely different than what we were accustomed back in the day. And what AI did with that 2000 Philadelphia 76ers team with him and just a bunch of cap drivers from Philly on the squad is just, but as time goes on, it becomes even more admirable on his part.
Yep. And I want people that either watch the show or haven't been or are not accustomed to watching
Hey,
back in the day
Shiesty.
basketball. Yes, Shiesty Bum, thank you. But there's a
Shiesty
thing
Bum.
called YouTube, right?
Uh-oh.
And I want y'all to go back and I want you to watch Allen Iverson and Victor Page. I want you to go back and watch Jamal Tinsley and Marcus Fizer on Iowa State Cyclones. I want y'all to go back and watch some of those people. I want you to go back and watch the TJ Fords. I want you to go back and watch them because I used to do a show called Y'all Must Have Forgot on Saturdays.
Cleaves.
And Mateen Cleaves,
That
the most
Michigan State
Petersons,
team.
that Michigan State team was different. You know what I'm saying? And I want y'all to go back and watch them. And those is even the 99s, 2000s, early 2000s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Bro.
back in the day, you just have to you have to watch the toughness and the way they played the game. You can't compare it. Go ahead, my guy.
No, I know we gotta go, bro. But it's just so funny. Shiesty must have an algorithm. As soon as we said something about
The
that
words.
community,
Popped
Shiesty
up,
just can't just
The
pop
words.
up.
About what?
We
About
start
the
talking about
alphabet.
them alphabet people.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said, uh-oh.
Automatic.
We done for today. You too late. We talked about them late at the end today. Just for you.
Yep. All the gagency, the whole gagency, as Ray J say, the whole gagency outside in the NBA.
Oh,
And that's what the NBA needs to do. We need to go back to winning by merit, winning by earning it.
Maybe they could switch, right, and have co-ed. Maybe that'll change the WNBA. Maybe Bronny James could play in the WNBA, see how he works out in that.
Do a hybrid league.
A
hybrid league. Yeah, send Josh Hart to the
hybrid league. Yeah,
send
the
Josh
G
Hart
Leaguer.
You can send Josh Hart, Bronny James, all of them to the WNBA, and do a hybrid league. You know what I'm saying? And see
have a whole bunch of Joanna Mans.
Yeah. I mean, although Jermaine O'Neal used to braid Brian Grant's hair on the bench, he was okay. he was fine. He
Yo, this dude, man.
Oh my gosh! Hey, but
make
y'all
sure you check that documentary out, guys. Make sure you watch it
Yo.
so we can touch on it next week. The audience as well. It's called
definitely.
The Jail Blazers, especially for the younger generation that they didn't live through that.
It'll be out on I think Tuesday.
Tuesday on Netflix. The Jail Blazers, a team that we've spoken about before. The Netflix producers watched the show, inspired by us. They making the documentary. Check it out, and we'll be touching on it as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that after we watch it. You know what I mean, and talk about more because there's a lot more that happened in those days that could be touched upon as well, and we just base it off of what we see on the documentary because everybody's getting one nowadays.
They're getting a chance to tell their stories, and it's great because they get to silence a lot of the critics and a lot of the opinions that were had on some of these things. Only one, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's one part of it that I'm really not gonna like listening to. I'm not gonna like listening to it because I already see it coming. I've heard the theories, there's conspiracies and things like that. That 2000 playoff game 7 up 17, where it seems like the direction of that game just just changed.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like hearing that part.
That's a topic. That's a topic that we can do a whole segment on a show in regards what happened in that 2000 game between Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals between the Portland Trailblazers. At halftime, at one point they were up by 21. I watched that game in its entirety. They were up by 21.
Yep.
Remember, that was the first time that basically Shaq and Kobe were in the spotlight as a Lakers duo that year 2000. It was the first year of their three-peat. So there's a lot of questions regarding conspiracy theories, the mafia behind it, the betting lines, a lot of things that went wrong, were wrong in the wrong direction in that game. And that's a topic that we can discuss for hours long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely
we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Shiesty, we're not silencing critique. We love to have you. Just get with us a little earlier so we can get it for 2 hours, and we can respond to everything that you have to say. Because we love it. Appreciate
share the show too. Share the show and bring more people. Bring more people.
Shiesty Bum, you be around. Shiesty Bum be around, and so she know to share. Yeah, she got definitely more than a following, the YouTube following.
And we gonna laugh as soon as you came on, unapologetic left. I think he's scared of you now.
Tom and Jerry.
So we in the building, like I said, once again, every Sunday, 10 a.m. Appreciate you guys for coming on, doing what y'all do.
Thank you,
I'm
Mr.
just
Heck.
a lonely moderator.
Appreciate it.
Stephen Heck got Ant and whoever the heck he's going to be next week.
Right.
Today
Not
he's
Bo
not Bo Jackson.
Which, by the way,
obviously,
you did not ask me anything about Bo Jackson, Mr. Heck, but
no, and I wasn't, because the whole thing was, as I know that unless it was 11, 12 years old, unless you climbed up a wall and caught a home run, I think that's always where we're going with the Bo Jackson theory.
Yeah, that's as far as we're going to go. That's as far as we're going to go.
I'm not going past that. So,
right. Breaking the bat on your knee, on your thigh.
Yeah, breaking your bat and running for 1,000 yards in the season or whatever else. I would just leave that alone.
Breaking the bat is crazy too. Pause. That's crazy.
Thank you, Mr. Heck, and Mr. Savage in the background, always cooking to the audience. Without you, this couldn't be possible. Share, like, comment, support us. If you want to contribute to the show, there's that link in the comments. Mr. Heck, phenomenal as usual in the moderating and the counterpart, and Mr. Savage doing great. And it's always a pleasure to join you guys.
Yes, sir. And Savage, make sure you send out that link for your battle, man, so we can support. Come out, check you out, man.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Some of it, I wish I had some of the music up here. I wish I had it, because I listened to some of it already, and it's pretty fire. So
we too close. We too close in that picture. We too close. We too close.
I hear you. Here you go. Here you go.
Spread that out.
Yo, I ain't dealing with you. Here we go. I'm trying to find a word.
Too close.
Yo, that'll be easy. I'll see y'all next week once again.
Always.
Sunday, 10 a.m. We get it in. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, fans of the game, Stack King. If it's got a scoreboard, you know we talking about it. What the heck? This is all on Statch again.
To the gridiron, fast breaks to the end zone, walk-offs, knockouts, buzzer beaters, yeah, we breaking it all down.